Hello and welcome to my presentation on the course that I've created to fulfill the requirements in my class utilizing effective instructional technologies in an effort to attain my master's degree in organization learning and technologies. I wanted to specifically discuss the course in question is the T6 Aircraft Fuel Systems Maintenance course. This course has specifically been designed and created to cater to the Air Force and Air Force employees who are working on the T6 airframe. We'll discuss a little bit about the overview, the course objectives, some learning activities, and how the students will be assessed throughout this course. Our landing page here is the T6 Aircraft Fuel Systems Maintenance. This is an example. It's actually a picture of a T6. And we'll immediately jump into the classwork. When we go to the classwork button, we come over and we have the introduction and overview. This introduction overview also includes the overview, welcome, and introductions, plus the module objectives and purpose. When we click on the overview, welcome, and introduction, and we look at the material that provided here is a basic course and schoolhouse information, a criterion checklist example, an instructor bio, and etiquette, when we essentially are talking about the etiquette to use while in an online course or online class. The course and schoolhouse information that is provided here basically goes over some simple rules to follow, the purpose, the course description, equipment, sequence, some information about Air Force core values, risk management, as we always want to be careful and make sure everyone understands what's going on, team objectives, and other issues or things that we may run into if we were in a face-to-face format, and also in an online format, and making sure we understand how to treat one another. When we go down to the course requirements, the biggest requirement of this course is the need for a student to attend has to be relevant and they are working on the airframe in their work center. That means they will have access to a government computer, which is also a prerequisite because certain types of technical data need to be accessed through a government program, and that's only accessible through the network that the government provides. We go back to our overview. We can look at a criterion checklist, instructor bio. I'll let you go through some of these and look through certain things. The criterion checklist we will look at because it does give an example of how a student will be graded. And when we talk about graded, it basically gives every single item and objective that is within the course that they are going to participate in. This also gives the student name information, and then it has an R and an NR. R means recommend for the student to be upgraded to the next level of competency within their work center. NR means that they are not recommended, but just means they need additional training for hands-on at home station, basically to get them to the point where they feel competent and confident enough to be upgraded to the next level. We go back to our landing, go to our classwork again, and now we look at our module objectives and purpose. As we get into the module objectives, when we look at the objectives are clear. This is a basic fundamentals course, but we'll go from essentially interpreting technical data through full understanding of the system and how to communicate that system to others and explain it to other people effectively. The module objectives will be simple in nature, as they will start with small building blocks that will create a foundation and then build upon that and adding more detailed information as we go through the course. We have the storage system, the quantity system, the engine feed system, and each system will be broken down into different parts. Now, all these separate systems would be considered a subsystem of the fuel system on the aircraft. Each one of these will be met with some type of task, either a progress check or a group discussion or both. And all of these tasks support the course level objectives. Now, returning to the landing page, we look at our next section, which will be our learning objectives or our learning activities. Our learning activities will be mainly delivered through a PowerPoint setup. The PowerPoint setup can be done through Google Classroom in a pre-recorded format or in a live format, which can be face-to-face, online, or pre-recorded. Now, the presentations are PowerPoint style, and when we look at the material, and this is just an example of one, but the material goes through giving specific information about each objective that's going to be discussed within this module. And this module is broken down into multiple PowerPoints, and each PowerPoint will have embedded videos, but it will also be the study material for the students when it comes to their testing or their assessment phase. When we go back to our classwork and we look at our other learning objectives or learning activities, within these PowerPoints, we will have the progress checks. Now, these progress checks are unique, and when I say that, they're unique in the sense of they're designed to test the knowledge of a student, but they're also designed to support the level of learning that is required when it comes to aircraft maintenance. We need students to understand information, but we also need them to understand how to find specific information, especially over questions that may come up after they return to their work center that we never discussed in class. During a live, face-to-face, or Zoom Microsoft Teams call, I would like to use the other learning activity of a dry erase board questioning. And essentially this keeps the student interactive and involved in the lecture or presentation. And in a face-to-face format, it'll be a dry erase board where a question is asked and each student is allowed to put their answer on the dry erase board and then show it to the instructor, essentially showing that every student is understanding. It also gives a good point of reference for an instructor to say maybe someone's not getting it, and allows them to rephrase or go back and do some specialized instruction for an individual student. It also would be capable of doing this in a Zoom or online format by using the discussion board or chat room, and essentially have each student individually send what they think the answer is to the instructor. When we look at now that we've covered the learning activities, we need to look at the progress checks. The progress checks are going to be dual purpose. They're going to be a formative and summative assessment. The formative portion will be a simple knowledge-based check. When you click on the actual progress check, you can look at the material, and each progress check is going to be a simple multiple choice or a fill in the blank. And the purpose of this in a formative manner is going to be the with reference part. The first part of the test first part of the progress check would be a simple, hey, answer these questions as quickly as possible, and then that would be a summative assessment. It'll gauge what knowledge retention is happening or occurring within a student. The formative part is with reference, meaning providing the page and paragraph number of where this information is found, and the student can show more knowledge and understanding of how they got to that answer and why that answer is that, also allowing them to dive deeper into the system. The last portion, or the assessment portion truly of this course, is going to be the pre-test and the post-test. The pre-test will be designed in a way as a self-assessment. It will be graded, but it will only be graded to allow the student and the instructor to understand where a student is at the time of starting the class. It also allows the student to understand, hey, there's some more things that I need to learn, and maybe I should pay more attention in this. Giving them an understanding of the starting point allows them to understand how much deeper they're going to get into this course. Once they complete the pretest, they will all get graded. They will receive some feedback, but it won't carry any weight against the final score. Their progress checks, in a summative manner, will be weighted and will have scores, and they will be able to use those scores in understanding that they are learning more and that they are gaining knowledge and information. And it's also the little wins. It's the small achievements that lead up to the big achievement that makes it worthwhile for the student. The final assessment will be the post-test. The post-test is a graded and weighted test assessment that allows the student to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding of the entire fuel system. This is the crowning event of the course, and most students do very well in the post-test. Most students don't have any trouble and are done very quickly with this test. It is a multiple choice, short answer, fill in the blank, true false type test. And this allows the student to realize how far they've come in their achievement and understanding more about the fuel system. And being that there are some short answer and essay questions, the student will get immediate feedback as they answer the question as correct, but they will have to wait to get further feedback from the instructor on each question that they answer that is short answer essay. Essentially, this is the course. This is what I've designed. There's much more material in here that you can review. By all means, please take the opportunity to look at it, and please provide me any input that you have on the course. Thank you for listening to my presentation.